Hi, and welcome to Tech for PD. I'm Jim Brown.
And I'm Chad Jackson. And today we're going to be talking about the roles that PLM and ERP play in product development.
So Chad, why is it important to talk about the roles of ERP and PLM?
Well, I mean, both types of systems are very important to product development. There's no doubt about that. PLM is very important to kind of automate and enable product development overall, as well as engineering and innovation efforts. Yeah. ERP is very important to handle the execution side of product development. I mean, it's really about the business of manufacturing. But there is they are complementary in what they do for product development.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. And I know you like my fancy framework, so I'll share one. I think ERP and PLM make up a big part of a manufacturer's enterprise ecosystem. And really the ability for PLM to become the master for the product information and then push that down into ERP for execution and manufacturing, or MES as well for execution, but also systems like service lifecycle management, CRM, supply chain, and others. I think we're seeing quite a bit of that integration happening as well. Yes. Really with PLM being the master, though, and then driving into these.
Okay. Well, if you look at some of the PLM players, they certainly have integrations with ERP tools. Absolutely. You look at the four standard ones: PTC, Siemens, PLM, Dassault, and Autodesk. Obviously, will connect, but also the smaller guys like Arena and Aris, and some of the newer guys. It's kind of seen as very important. So the other thing to think about too, Siemens PLM has an MES offering that they integrate with. Right. As well as PTC has a service lifecycle management solution that they integrate with as well.
Right, and Autodesk is really broken because of the cloud nature of their PLM system. Is broken into really cloud integration, which is a new thing in the PLM industry, which is I think very interesting. Yeah. You also have the ERP vendors themselves. SAP has built a PLM system. Oracle acquired Agile. Infor acquired a couple companies. So you're seeing partnerships, but also ERP companies with solutions. But integration is still an issue there. Not just because they come from the same vendor, even maybe on the same platform, you can't always assume that they're integrating.
Mm-hmm. So, Jim, obviously PLM and ERP are important to work together. How do you see them working together exactly?
Yeah. I think it's very important that PLM serves as the master and that we're defining all of the information about a product in PLM and then moving it out to other systems for execution. But that PLM is really the master across ERP for product data, but also for other solutions like service and others as well.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good vision. I think in reality, though, that it's too big of a bite to take, right? So I think at a minimum, you need a one-time push from PLM to ERP at release to manufacturing. And also whenever you have a change, when you have a change process, you got to re-release that information. But I think that's really all you need at a basic level. And I think going beyond that it can be a little tricky.
It can be tricky, and it's it's an evolution to get there, but the speed of business today and the errors that can come from manually moving information or just one-time push, I think we need to be a lot more fluid in what we're doing and be able to quickly understand the impact of changes. When we make a design change, what does that impact on the manufacturing process? What does it impact on maybe test cases, service parts? Have that in one place and then push it to the other systems to execute.
Interesting. Well, I think, the one thing that you said that kind of stuck in my mind is that you gotta make the right decisions. I think what's important there is to have the right people participating in the process, and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to get everything into a system, right? So I think it's tempting, but it's a little too big of a bite to take.
So I agree with having the right people involved, but I also think you need to have one source for that information. It's going to have to be automated, and then you start to pull that information back around and get feedback, not just from the people, but also from real data.
All right. Well, luckily they get to decide who's right.
All right. Let's see.
All right. Now let's take a look at what's going to happen in the future and related to this topic. So, Jim, what do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, I think we're going to see more closed-loop integration. I think we're going to see more and more people wanting to take the output of execution, whether it's service information, manufacturing information, information from CRM on complaints or requests, and bring that back up into the design environment in PLM.
Okay. All right. I think that's fair. I think that, personally, I think that's going to mainly happen through partnerships and alliances. A lot of what has been happening so far, although I think the one thing that will change is those integrations will be lighter touch integrations instead of getting everything over, just picking out the most important pieces of information that needs to go to each system and keeping it simple.
Yeah. I'll make a wild prediction. I think that we're not done with consolidation. I think we're going to see a major ERP vendor probably acquire, and I'm not sharing any information of anything I know, but I think it's inevitable that a large ERP vendor will acquire a PLM vendor and have ERP, PLM, and design, CAD and engineering tools all in one place.
But
so you heard it here first.
They all have PLM systems already, right?
Yeah, maybe they want the CAD systems.
Oh, all right. Okay. Interesting. All right. So that was kind of predicting what's going to happen in the future. Now let's take a look at the consequences from the last episode.
This should be good. Here I am getting ready to take the polar bear plunge. Of course, because this is an engineering show, you wouldn't expect me to do this unprepared. The water today is 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So I've taken a few precautions and I'm getting ready to go. You did such a good job being bold. You did such a good job with keeping me on this bed. I still believe PLM's the right way to go. My hat's off to you. Thank you for joining us on Tech for PD, and we'd like to thank our sponsor Autodesk and also our founding partner PTC.
We'll see you next time on Tech for PD.